you put quite an emphasis on people having their own lives, and if you're losing friends and being disconnected, that's a good indicator that maybe it's something to change in the relationship, if not the relationship themselves. Um, I want to say, like, I think I've seen people as well, again, men and women that enter relationships and they feel so beholden to stay in that relationship, sorry, around their partner all the time, that they start forsaking their friends. I think women are way better than this than most men are about keeping those outside of the
Yeah.
marital bounds relationships. Um, but I think that's one thing that's just super important, because I
Yeah.
can't imagine, especially I don't have kids, but if you have kids and then this marriage and something that you're always working on, like just to have people outside of those bounds to have a laugh with or have support with, or even to just, sit around and be like, man, relationships are hard to, and do and say
Totally.
that together. I think it takes so much steam off the pot for
Yeah.
how these emotions can build up in us, that I don't know. I have many friends that went through like the first few years of having kids, and I've seen that really take the toll on their relationships
Totally.
and on them. And a lot of them said that, like, yeah, if they didn't have some of their friends during some of the tougher parts, they're not sure what would have happened during those times. And I
Totally.
can't imagine the pressure that must feel like.
Yeah, and I would say it's much worse for men, honestly. Like women, again, we're socialized to talk about our emotions. We're better at kind of like picking up the phone and calling and chatting about our relationships or talking about our feelings, things like that. Whereas for men, they're like, oh, like let's talk about sports, or let's like watch a game together, or let's have a beer, or let's, do play a sport or whatever it is. And that can
Meanwhile,
usually
they're
be
dying inside.
right, exactly. And hopefully, I do think again it's shifting slowly, but that can be a window into okay, after we, play the game of tennis or after we, watch the hockey game or whatever it is, like or football game if you're in America, but as a Canadian to Canadian, we can say hockey. But after the game, like, okay, yeah, like, okay, no, oh gosh, it's been really rough lately with so and so. And there can be an opportunity for vulnerability and support. But one of the reasons that actually men struggle much more with divorce than women is because their main support is oftentimes their wife in a heterosexual relationship, at least I should say.
Yeah.
Like their main support, their main emotional support, who they're talking to is going to be their wife. Whereas for women, it's their girlfriends. Like men just aren't, again, socialized to be as emotionally intelligent and know how to empathize or listen and support in the way that women do. And so when men go through divorce, they experience a lot more loneliness than women do. Women often feel a lot of relief, and this is generalization for sure, but
Hmm.
statistics show that like unmarried childless women are actually the happiest,
Yeah.
whereas for women, when they get married, they tend to lose a lot more in terms of like, yes, identity, but also, they kind of take on all the domestic labor and there's all these sorts of things that hopefully are changing in our society. But yes, this is just to say that like, absolutely it's so important to try to maintain those friendships of all genders. And also like if not, this is a plug for therapy and coaching, or a support group, or even like I'm honestly love Reddit so much. I mean, I know that there's like a lot of weird stuff on there, but I think it's like the best place to just, it's like an online support group. It's like people just sharing their feelings and there's nobody's like, posturing and trying to look cool with their profile picture. Like it's
Yeah.
just people
There,
genuinely sharing their experiences and being
there are
supportive.
some subreddits that are super helpful and insightful, and people have some
Yeah.
really great conversations.